Hello, hello. Just hopping on here for another live. Waiting for, I think it's tailored by Debbie to be finished. And then hopefully will be shared to Craft on the Clock. And then we'll get started. Hopefully everyone is having a great day. I know I am. As you're coming on, say hello and where you're coming from. It's always fun to see where everyone is. I am in Washington State. Looks like one person's on so far. Just gonna wait till 12:15 my time, 2:15 Central Time. It's always so confusing. It's like, oh, did I go on the right time? Oh, I am on. Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm just gonna set this over. And hopefully everyone had a great Mother's Day. It was a quiet day for me, but I did hear from my kiddos, which always makes me happy. We had a busy weekend. We moved my mother-in-law into the addition that we've been building for, I don't know, 6-7 months. And it finally happened on Saturday. So she is in the back in her little apartment. And yeah, I get to celebrate with my husband tonight because he had to work. But hopefully everyone had a good Mother's Day. Let me just see if I can pull up comments. So my name is Christy and I am here in my kitchen and I'm Speckled Hen Shop. And today we're going to be doing a hopefully it's super cute. Whoops, I just turned my camera on. So sorry, let me, there we go. We're making a cute fabric wall pocket and this is going to be our base. So you can use any wood, you can use old, new, depending on how wide you want it. I don't know why there we go. It could be wider. It could be horizontal and this way, and your pocket would be really wide going this way. So it just depends on what you want to stuff in there. This is more just a decorative one. I was thinking about putting a light in there, but I decided against that, like a little battery operated, but hopefully it'll be cute. So we're going to address this first. So I just cut, this was the width of the board. So the reason why I want it is I wanted to use this grain sack stencil and I wanted it to kind of go the length of it. So that is why I went with such a long vertical kind of narrow board. So all I did was trace the length, cut it, and then I cut the sides to kind of look like it's just a little bit more decorative edge, and then I drilled this big hole here. So we're gonna first beat it up so it kind of looks old. I'm only gonna stain it, and I'll take pictures of close up what we're gonna do. So I just take, a flathead screwdriver, and we are just gonna pound it. It's a good way to get out aggression. So let me move you down here. We have 22 people on already. That's great. So we're just hitting it. So it's making these little notches all in and when we stain it, you'll be able to see it more. So I just kind of hold my screwdriver different ways. And then I also just kind of hit it with the end and you'll see, and it just kind of makes a different, even though you're using the same screwdriver, it kind of makes different little, I don't know, variations. So this is the little knots or little, marks I made with just hitting it with the end. So now we're going to take, is this a Phillips? I always call it a star screwdriver because it's cuter. It's a cuter name for it. Anyways, it is just a little I think it's Phillips. My husband always cracks up when I call it the star. And sometimes he calls it the star screwdriver now. So you can see this has made the little X's and it just kind of makes the board look a little, it has a little bit more interest. This is how I kind of beat up all of mine, so you'll see. And like I said, when you stain it, it will pull those up a little bit. The other thing I like to use is a hammer, both sides. So first we're going to hit it with kind of just makes it dents kind of, and I like to do it on the ends since I'm not sanding and staining it. And again, let me see if you can see just like a bigger knot or a mark that I've made. And then again, I take the other side and kind of put it that way. So it just kind of makes all the different little notches. I kind of went to town on this. The other thing that I've used is as a chain, and then I'll lay it down and kind of pound it with the hammer, and that makes a really interesting, some interesting marks. But I couldn't find my my chain that I use. Hello, Florence, Arizona. Fatima, that's pretty. Hi, Marcia. Oh, hello. We've been chatting this morning. Let's see who else. Hello, Laura and Anita. You spent the day, Mary, gardening and yard sales, and also weekend with family. That's amazing. I love that. With young granddaughters. I love that. Grandma was silly. Hi, Tracy. Thank you for sharing me in. So, so now all we're going to do is we're just going to stain just this top part along with the sides. I'm not even going to stain the back right now. So my favorite go-to stain is, if I do use the gel a lot, but I think I'm going to use my big one, and it's Minwax. I usually try not to do it on the inside because it's so strong, but we only have a couple things to stain. And the color I like is Provincial. It's a little bit darker, but I like the look of it. So I'm going to put on my handy dandy gloves. And then we're going to stain over, like I said, just the top. And I use the sponge brushes, and then I put them in a bag afterwards and kind of reuse them. So I'm going to put it all in, or rub it all on, and then making sure it gets into those little grooves that we made. Maybe I'll do the top part that's going to show too on the back. So it's just, I don't know, I've always used Minwax, I've always used Provincial, and I've been crafting a long time. So just takes a light coat. So like I said, this bottom part is not going to be, it's going to be covered up, so we're not even going to use, or we're not even going to put that on. So I'm covering my lid, and then we are just going to use an old rag, and, oh, I like it. Even though I went crazy, sometimes, you know, less is more, but I did go a little crazy to show you all the different marks it makes. And it kind of just makes it look like it's old wood. So you can see, you wouldn't necessarily see these if they weren't stained, but now you can see all the different little marks. I've even kind of gone with a screwdriver and just made lines as well. So it just kind of just makes different lines and different marks. So again, this whole bottom part is going to be covered. So we've got our first thing done. What do you guys think of that? Isn't that amazing? Just the different screwdrivers, and like I said, I usually use a what's it called? A chain as well. All right, it's a good way to get aggression out. Hi there, hi Jamie, how are you? From Road 2012 Creations. Hi June. So you made it through the weekend. I did. I did, June. Oh gosh. Yeah, it's been a lot moving, but you know, moving her here and getting it all ready for her, but we got it done. We got it done. Family work together well. So we've got our base, and we're just going to set that aside because that's pretty much all we're going to do with that wood. So now I'm going to take, and this is what I make my pillows with. It's just a kind of a canvas material, and I've already made it the length I want. I'm also going to fold over the top and the bottom. So that's pretty much what it's going to look like, but it doesn't look, I mean, you could leave it cute, very simple if you don't stencil or you don't want to stencil on it. That would also be cute because it's really about just making the pocket and putting what's in it. But we're going to dress this up as well. Again, I'm a stenciler. I love stenciling. I have a ton of stencils. And so we are going to turn this into a cute little bee kind of pocket. But first I want to put this, it's like a grain sack. And I'm just putting it in the middle, making, I don't measure. I'm just kind of put it in the middle there. And we're going to stencil this in this mustard yellow, and it is, this one happens to be golden straw. Usually, I'm surprised I don't have my other one that I really like, but it's, oh, what is it? It's called, oh gosh, why can't I think? The one I always use. But anyways, any kind of deep mustard will work. And I just get a paper towel, and I'm going to make a loading pile here. Hopefully, whoa, that's a big loading pile. Antique gold, that's the one I usually use. This is a little lighter, but I think it'll work. We won't need that much. So we've got our loading pile, and now we're going to take our stencil brush. I always like the flat ones, and then not with string. The flat head, actually I'm going to use a different one. Flat head, so it's just somewhere rounded on the top. I like the flat. So again, I'm going to just eyeball this. I don't tape, I just hold it down with my hands tight. And then we are going to take our stencil brush and load our stencil brush up, and then we're going to take it to a clean spot and just kind of dab all of that out, making sure it's as dry as it can be. I'm just working that paint up into the bristles. All right, so now we start, and it's just an up and down motion. Sometimes I do use the circular, but it just depends on the, you know, these move rather easily, so I'm just doing the up and down motion on this. Every time you feel like your paintbrush or your stencil brush is getting dry, then you load again and unload every single time. It's not just a one and done, it's every single time. So I'm just working my way down the center of my fabric, and once I pull it off, you can see. Let me turn this down. Oops. No need to hear myself, that's better. Okay, so we're just going up and, you know, that up and down motion all the way down. And some of that is going to be covered up with our fold on the top and then what we glue on the back. But we just want to go all the way down, making sure it's covered. Oops. Just that up and down motion. And I've got it the way I like it, so we're just going to pull it off, and then I'll hold it up. And it's got that grain sack down the middle. All right, so now I am going to hold it over my board, and I am going to fold it where kind of I want it. And I'm just making sure, because now I want to stencil my bee on here. And we are going to do another project, because this is, all my crafting is pretty simple. And so a lot of times I'll have to do two projects on a live. So we're also going to be stenciling another item at the same time, because it's also going to be black, but they kind of coordinate the two items. So 12:30. So we've got it kind of where we want it. Isn't that cute? Just so simple. And that is going to be glued down after we get our bee on it. So we've got that. And I think I want my bee, I want to have it shown, maybe I want it up a little bit so we can see more of the grain sack. Sorry, we just got to get it right. I had done another one, and I made the bee too low, so it just barely folded over on the bottom. And we have to have that pocket. So I think it's about right there where we want him. So I'm just gonna hold this up, and I've started using my stencils in kind of a different way. I used to always like, oh, you have to stencil the whole thing, but you don't. You can just use part of a stencil, which is what I'm doing here. I'll hold the stencil up afterwards. So I've got some tape, and I just want to make sure, where is my tape? I had my tape. So sorry. One moment. I'm wondering if I can sneak over here. Maybe I'll just get a 3x5 card that will cover up what we don't. Oh, there's the tape. I'm going to grab both just in case. Okay, so we have, so this little bee has a crown and then also some leaves around the edge, and I don't want any of the black to go through on those little pieces. So I'm just taping over the parts where it's really close. And again, once I hold this up, I will show you what I mean. It's just better to be sorry. I've ruined so many projects where you stencil over, like, you know, one of the holes for the other thing. So I just want to make sure he's kind of even. Okay, so, and again, I'll hold that up. So now we're going to take our Americana black, and it's ebony, and I've just shook it up into the lid. Let me do it one more time. Shook it up into the lid, and we are going to use that as our loading pile, and then we'll unload it on the paper towel. So I've got another stencil brush, and I'm just working that paint up into the bristles, drying it out as much as I can. And then again, with the up and down motion, we will just stencil over, and we're stenciling directly over that part of the grain sack design. And it's a light color, so the black, so the mustard won't show through the black. I think it would be okay, but I don't know. I'll have to see what that looks like sometime. So we're just stenciling over with our bee. I love decorating. Oh, thank you, Kefany. I appreciate it. So I love decorating for all seasons, and in the summer, I kind of also do, you know, honeybee stuff in a couple of areas in my home, and I'm anxious to get it out. I haven't done it. So with any stencil, you need to pull it straight up so you're not dragging it across. So I'm just going to show you now where we've stenciled that bee over. How cute is that? So simple. Okay, so now, what was I going to show? Oh, and I was also going to show you. So again, I just used this part of the stencil. It had a crown that I taped over because it was such a close area in between the two. I wanted to make sure that while I was stenciling the bee, even though it would have been cute with the crown, I didn't want to use it in this project. So I just covered it up with tape, and then also covered just slightly, I don't know if you can see the shimmery tape, it's here, covered up these areas here, because I didn't, you know, you just never know if you're going to accidentally hit, and then you would have black, like a weird black spot on it. So that is that. And then all we need to do now is take this, and I've just got a simple thing that I want to put in it. It would look cute with sticks, some greenery, but I'm going to be using just some, oh, what's it called? I can't think. Sweet Annie. I like it to look a little natural, so we are just folding that over, and I'm not quite sure. We may have to cut some of this bottom part off. It's so cute with the grain sack stuff. Let me cover some things up because I don't need a mess. I don't need a mess. Okay. All right, so now let's see. How am I going to cut the bottom? I'm going to cut the bottom just a little bit. We're going to rip it. I don't want to cut too much off like I kind of did the other one when I was practicing. Okay, so we've just ripped it. We're cutting some of the bulk of that off. It would have been fun. We could have probably figured it out how to fold it over. We're just going to wing it, I think. So I've got where I want it to fold. I think that's good. So we're just going to do it. You want it tight enough, but not too tight, so you can't stick anything in it. I think it will kind of stretch out. So I've got a glue gun, and I am just going to glue the bottom. That's the first part. And I am going to glue just the folded over part so it stays down. And then we're going to glue our other part. Maybe I should have done this bottom part. It's like wrapping a package, right? You just never know. Okay, so we're just going to take that and we're going to just glue. Running out of glue here. we're just gluing that other part over on the back. Hopefully it's not too tight. And now I'm going to fold this lip down, the little part, or glue the folded part down. Hi, Mom. Hi, Country Stitchin'. How are you, my friend? Miss Gina. So I think I am just going to fold it like a package. I've got the, you know how you do the ends. I'm just going to fold this down first. Maybe I'll glue that part. Oh, it's easier than I thought. It helped, I think, to cut that bulk off. So we folded our bottom part down. It's going to look exactly like a package. I folded the back part, and now I'm going to just glue this over. And again, it's not going to show on, you know, it's going to be on a wall or a pegboard or something. So we're just folding that down, and I'm just going to make sure, you know, it has some nice finished edges just in case. And we're gluing that down now. So there you have it. And now, what else do you think this would, oh, you know what would look cute in here? A little honey dipper, that would look adorable in here. Some greenery, a little bee pick if you had one, super cute. But we are going to, give me some other ideas of what you would want to, rainy, huh, Gina? Give me some other ideas of what you would put in this little cute wall pocket. Again, I'm just went simple today because I had a busy weekend. So we're just adding a bunch of Sweet Annie. How cute is that? Oh, it smells so good. Okay, so I've got that. So if you made this pocket looser, you could put some stuffing down in here and add it to the bottom. I think a little tag would be super cute on this. I have a little rusty safety pin that I'm just going to pin on the top. I was going to make a tag, but then I thought, no, what if it didn't look good? But we'll just go ahead and pin this because I think it does need some other little element. Like I said, all of my projects are so simple, but sometimes simplicity is the best, I think. All right, so there's a little safety pin. You could add a little tag that said bzzz or something. So that's our first project. How cute is that? So simple. And any now I want to make all different kinds of pockets with different stencils on the front. Hi Elaine, how are you, my friend? Sunflowers, that would be cute, Mom. Oh yeah, daisies or something since it's got the bee on it. So sweet. Okay, so that was our first project. I'm going to move this, and now we're going to go on to the next one. Like I said, my projects are so simple, so I'm like, oh, I gotta come up with another one. So we kind of did a version of this not too long ago, but we're gonna do one that will kind of coordinate. So I found this really cute mustard check. I was gifted all of my mother-in-law's fabric, and I was blessed with that. Super cute. Thank you, Marcia. And it's so simple. So simple. I ordered some things from you on a replay. Oh, I will get to you that. I will get to that, Mary. That was on my list today. So we are going to cover this box. Oh, I forgot. That's what we were going to do. We were going to stencil that other one, but I have another stencil brush. All right, we'll just go from here. Okay, sorry, I'm all over the board. So we are going to cover it, but I've learned that sometimes I don't cover quite enough, so I just go ahead and take an ink pad, and I use the Stays On, and it's timber brown or black, depending on what it is, and I kind of just cover the ends, just in case I'm a little off, and a lot of times I'm a little off, in more ways than one. Just ask my people. Anyways, okay, so I am just inking those edges, and that's simply just in case I, mess up on my measuring. That's all. That's the only reason why I do that. Okay, so we've done that. We've covered our edges, and now we are going to just use our Mod Podge. A crow would be cute. Yes, yes, and I do a lot of crow things. I'm I'm going to have to really think about all the cute little pockets I can do. You're welcome, Mary. I apologize. It's taken me, I don't know if you saw the first part of my life. We moved my mother-in-law here over the weekend. We have been adding on to the back of our house, and it finally, you know, the final inspection happened, so we moved my mother-in-law here, and we've been settling her in. So I'm going to just do a little bit at a time. If I did the whole thing, it would dry, and then I sometimes get my, you know, it's easy to go off kilter too, like, so I just would rather work in little sections. So, and you can see I did go off a little bit, but that's okay. We've covered it up and made that. All right, and now we're going to the next section, keeping track of the time here. It's about 20 minutes, we're doing good. So hopefully everyone had a good Mother's Day. Like I said, I kind of helped my mother-in-law in the morning. My husband had to work, and then I got to hop on the mower, and I did get some my last of my veggies in. I have not been able to do much, but it sure felt good. And that's what I would always do with my girls when they were little. We would play it. They'd ask me what I'd want to do, and I always wanted to just have them help me in my garden. So I got to do that. Okay, so we're just slowly going over, and we're going to go over the whole thing again in Mod Podge. And Mod Podge thankfully dries clear. I'm sorry this is taking so long, but we're just going in sections just to make sure that it doesn't dry out and that we are covering it up properly, so it doesn't go off crazy like. Oh, me too, Glenda. Squirrel time, squirrel moments are very, very, especially lately, it's just been crazy for me. Oh, I tell you, I don't know what's going on. Just a lot of stuff on my mind, I guess. So we have got the next section. And I am in Washington State. I don't know if I said that. I'm in Washington State, and we're way up in the corner, almost to the Canadian border. So now we're having to overlap just a little bit to make sure that it's covered. And I'm just going over on my material there a little bit. And then we're going to be done with this. Actually, I think I'm going to cut this. Should have ripped it. All right. We'll just seal the last part down. And then before we Mod Podge over it, we are going to take some ink and we are going to darken the edges just a little bit. So we've got it all the way around, and again, I know it looks messy, but that's okay. I just think this mustard was so perfect with the other mustard we used. And that's what I like to do. I like to have everything kind of coordinated in those muted colors. And then we're gonna paint the lid. Okay, so now I've got our ink pad again, and I just brought these brushes, and they're just the applicators, and I'm going to rub it on our ink pad here, and we are just going to hit those edges to make them look a little dirtied up, kind of to match the other project that we did. I know this won't show because we've got the lid, but I'd like to do the whole thing just in case, you know. So I like to use these paper mache boxes for little storing things. So we're darkening that. We're going to darken the top and the bottom first, and then we're going to go back and hit it on this around the fronts too. And this is going to be our little, we're going to actually stencil a little bit. I forgot to use the black and stencil it, but we've got another stencil brush that we can stencil with it. Doing great on time. So I'm just going around the bottom, and again, I always use StazOn, and it's Timber Brown. It's my go-to color. We're just darkening those edges. Spring fever doesn't help, yes. Oh, June, we are all busy these days, right? Thank you for the hearts. A crow would be so cute. I love crows. There's so many people that don't like them because they're kind of, you know, a scavenger bird. But my mother-in-law was telling me about her friend, and I think we were talking all together. She has passed since, but she said crows need to make a living too. So that's how I feel about crows. They need to make a living too. So we've got that, and I know it looks crazy, but it's going to dry, and we're going to add just a, actually, I forgot, we were going to add just a little bit on the middle, just hit it in different areas, and then we're going to go over the whole thing with our Mod Podge, because that's what's making it look all crazy right now, like it's uneven, like it's stained or, anyway, so we've got that, and now we're going to cover it with the whole thing with Mod Podge. And then we'll go on to the next part. So, and that will just make the whole thing kind of the same color. And that way we'll give it a chance to dry. And I'm just doing the same stroke. So I'm doing vertical up and down, and that's with anything. If you're painting or anything, you just want to keep your strokes the same. And we are just covering the whole thing. I'm hoping, if anyone knows or follows me, I love my cats. We have two. I have one that's kind of a typical cat that does not, you know, he kind of does his thing. He snuggles more in the winter months when it's cold. And in the evenings, he likes to come in and make biscuits on me for a minute, and then he'll do his own thing and kind of, and his name is Murphy. And I have my other cat, Salsa, who I adore, and he adores me. It's a mutual thing. And he got out the other night and would not come back. Day. So yesterday he sat on the couch all day, and then he kept limping, and I was like, I can't see anywhere with his paw or anything. Oh, the sound is gone. I wonder why. That's weird. Sound is gone. No sound. Can you guys go back out and come back in? I'm going to just keep going. So we've Mod Podged all of that. Is the sound back? Okay, good. I was telling the story about my cat. Anyways, he came back. He was limping all day yesterday. Couldn't find anything on his paw. It's good now. Good. I'm so glad. And then I kind of was looking at his forearm last night, and he had like a little hard piece in his arm, and it was all swollen up above. And so I kind of pulled on that. This is gonna sound so gross. Well, anyways, I think he got into a cat fight, and there was a little claw in his arm. So he is still not feeling well. I got the little claw out, and I think it got embedded in his arm. Anyway, so so I'm just gonna have to watch him. I may have to take him to the vet today. It went out and went in and went, okay, that's good. Okay, So now we've got this part done. I'm going to set it aside, and we need to paint the lid, and I'm going to go ahead and paint it this black again. So I use another sponge brush, and I'm just going to cover the top, and I'm going to leave it, some of it not painted. So it's almost like it's been dry brushed, or that's what it is. So we're going to go back over it with our ink, and that's going to come up with that ink so it matches our bottom part. So again, I'm leaving the sides a little bit, and I may have to use gel to cover it. So we've got a light coat of that. I'm going to set that aside. Oh, and we might as well stencil. So I thought it would be cute to add onto here. It says Farm Fresh Honey, and again, it's got to be on the bottom, and on the bottom it says Pure Organic Raw, but I just want the Farm Fresh Honey, and we are going to stencil it on this same material that we used on our pocket, and we are going to have to cover that up a little bit. Just his little antennae to make sure we don't get black on anything else. You have to pull that up. Okay, so this, just the Farm Fresh Honey is what we want, and we're going to use our fabric, and we are going to, it's kind of hard to see because I didn't wash it out, but I just want it somewhat, you know, centered on my material that I had previously cut out. So I'm gonna dab our material, or sorry, dab our paint, and then unload it. I've got a different stencil brush here, and we are going to just do the up and down motion. And we are making Farm Fresh Honey for the front of our box, and that's how it's gonna tie in to our little wall pocket. Making sure all that's covered so we can see. I hope it came out somewhat even. I suppose we could cut the bottoms and the sides if we needed to. So again, with any project, you don't want to slide it over, you just want to lift it straight up, and it looks like it's good. Set that aside, get that in the water. There's just one little thing here. I don't know what that is. Okay. Oh, I do have a little mark, but that's okay. We might use the stain over it to cover it up. So we've got Farm Fresh Honey, and it looks like I do need to cut it just on the bottom, on this side. I'm gonna try to rip it. There we go. Because I love that frayed edge. You have some quality, honey. You can apply that for treatment. Oh, on my cat? Yeah, I'm just sick. His little nose felt warm. He would not move all day. And he's kind of on my bed today, so sad. You guys know I love my cats, and to see one hurting is just kills me. I think he's not going out, but he was in and out all day because of the move, and then I'm just glad he's back. I'm sad he's hurt. So that's what it's gonna look like on the front, and I think what we're gonna do is ink some of that as well. I don't know how it will turn out, but we're just gonna ink just to see, just to dirty it up a little bit. That's interesting. I never heard that you could use honey on a cat, but that makes sense. I did read that you're not supposed to use like hydrogen peroxide, but I could not believe it when I was like, what is this dark part? It was a claw. He got clawed. Hi Natalie, how are you? And we are just dirtying this little sign up, or this little piece that we stenciled. Oh, I like that. I really have enjoyed these applicators. I've never had one, and I just recently bought it. All right, so we've got it all dirtied up. And I think what we're gonna do, I don't know if we should Mod Podge it on or just glue it. So that's what it's gonna look like. Let me think about that. So we're gonna go back to this, and now we're going to just darken those edges, the parts where we did not paint it fully. We are going to use our ink and cover them up so it kind of matches our first project. Got 6 minutes, but I can go over a little bit too, so I might if we, but I think we're gonna, actually had a third project, can you believe it? I think we're gonna stop at 2 though, that's my limit. All right, so you can see that it's, you can kind of see some of the brown. And then the other thing I think we might add just a little bit, we'll see, I haven't tried this before, but I have some gold rub and buff. And we might hit the lid with just a little bit of gold rub and buff along the side. I think that would be cute. So what do you think? Should we Mod Podge this on or glue it? Thanks, Phyllis. I appreciate it. Thanks, Marcia. Yeah, I love honeybee stuff. I have quite a bit in my Etsy shop. So I think we are going to Mod Podge it quick. This is still wet, and I don't really want to glue it when it's still wet. I don't think it will stay. So we're just going to quickly Mod Podge. And how I do it, instead of, you know, because I want to make sure it's on right. So I'm going to hold it where I want it. I'm going to make sure our lid doesn't cover up anything. It does not. Okay, so that's, I think, where we want it. And we're just going to take just a little bit of Mod Podge. And now we're going to Mod Podge our cute little tag that we stenciled. So I used to just do wood. I cut it out, and we would paint it, but wood got so expensive, and so I started stenciling on fabric, and I've just hooked. I absolutely love it. I still do signs and stuff as well, but I used to use Meta Honey on my mom's legs. Oh wow, Elaine. I just never knew. You know, bees are amazing. I know it's good when you have, like, you know, local honey for allergies and things too. So now we're just going to cover over the top so it has that same sheen, even though this is, what's it called? Matte. We still want it to be somewhat the same sheen as the rest of our project. And this will dry clear. We're just making sure it's down well and it's not going to move. Oh, I'm excited to use this in my honeybee collection. All right, so we've got that. Hopefully it will dry soon. And then we're going to cover it up, the lid. Maybe that could have gone down just a little bit, but that's okay. You can still see it. And then, oh, that's what I forgot. So we are going to add a candle up at the top. And I do have a candle cup here, and it's just wood. And I'm thinking, I'm just trying to decide if it should be black or stained. What do you guys think? Give me a heart, some hearts, if you think it should be black, and give me some likes if you want it to be stained. So hearts for black, likes for stains, for just stained. I'll sit just for a minute. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add this cute little, I have them in my shop. It's a battery operated candle, and it's, I believe this one's timed, but as soon as you engage it, so if you turn it on today, hearts for black, is that what I said? Hearts for black, likes for stains. So I think we're gonna add that to the top. Let's see, hearts for black, likes for stains. Thank you, Tailored by Debbie. And we're gonna add some Spanish moss on the bottom too. So let's go ahead and paint it black very quickly. I should have done that when I was doing them. All right, so we'll do that same thing where we're gonna just dry brush it and then we're gonna maybe use the stain over it because I don't think I could hit it hard enough. Black. We're gonna go ahead with black. We're gonna make sure we get the top because we don't want it to be shown. I love acrylic paint. It dries so quickly. Like, oh, a lot of stain too. I think it would be pretty either way. Okay, so we've got that. And now we are going to just, instead of using our ink, we are going to use a stain, a gel stain. And it's just gonna cover up the parts that we used for dry brushing. And we are just gonna use the end of our towel because I didn't have any other things. So we're gonna cover the whole thing and then we'll wipe it off. And we're just making sure some of the top parts covered as well so you don't see any of the light parts. And then we'll wipe it all down, add some Spanish moss, and we're good. What do you guys think? So we got 2 projects done. Thanks, Deborah. So once you wipe that gel on, you want to wipe it off again. All right, and now we're just going to glue it, and I may need another type of glue, but for right now, we're just going to glue it in the middle, and then I am going to add some Spanish moss and maybe some of that sweet Annie too to kind of tie it in. And then I'll quickly kind of do a recap of everything that we did. So we're just getting some Spanish moss here and we're just gonna tuck it around kind of crazy like maybe, we'll see. So just adding some glue. Type some bee emojis if you guys decorate in any type of bee stuff. Thank you, Marcia, so sweet. I just think, I don't know, I just love bees. We have, Whatcom County is the county that we live in, and we are known for our raspberries and berries, and so I just love it when the bees come. So I think I'm going to try to add just a little bit. I wonder, what do you guys think if we tie some of the, because add just a hint of green, and I like it natural instead of using, I mean, when you use the other part, like some, you know, greenery from Hobby Lobby or whatever, it also looks nice, but I try to just stick with what's natural. So we're just going to add a little bit of that around, and I may have to glue it, but for right now I'm just tucking it in. So we've got it all the way around. It's almost made a leaf, and then we're going to put our cute little light. Okay, so the first project that we did, I'm going to lift you up here. Hello. Oh, I always feel so frazzled on these lives. So we took just a plain board and we marked it up with screwdrivers and a hammer, and it just made the different little marks, almost like a, you know, like an insect or something bore holes in a piece of wood. So you took just a normal piece of wood, and just by hitting it with different things, it's made those marks. And then when you stain it, it just brings out those marks even more. So then we took some material, and all I did was stencil this grain sack material down the middle with our little bee. And then we stuck some Sweet Annie on the top. I think a little honey dipper would be cute. Someone said a flower, you know, flowers, other greenery would be super cute. Depending on what you have on the front is what, you know, what you would kind of coordinate in what's inside. So look at my hands. So we just put some Sweet Annie, and then I just added a cute little rusty safety pin for another little element. And then for our second project, we took a paper mache box, we added material and kind of inked up the ends, and it's the same kind of where it kind of coordinates the other piece. And then we stenciled Farm Fresh Honey on the front. Mod Podged that on. We've painted our top of our box, and then we added some Spanish moss and some Sweet Annie, just like we did on the other project, and then painted a candle cup and put our thing in. So the two together would be super cute. They're similar but yet different, and I just like it when it all kind of has hints of other little elements of what you've done. So that is my project today. Thank you, Mary. Oh my goodness. Oh, thank you, Phyllis. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Marcia. You guys are so sweet. So again, my name is Christy McAllister, and I'm here from Speckled Hen Shop. I appreciate a follow on, let's see, I'm on Facebook mostly, Instagram. I have Pinterest, a huge Pinterest board, and let's see, there's, oh, and an Etsy shop. It's all under Speckled Hen Shop. And I'm also trying to start a YouTube channel. It's not going so well, but I'm learning, and that's all that matters. So I hope you guys have a blessed day, and go make something fun, and follow Craft Round the Clock. There's all kinds of, if you're not liking what you see, if I'm too grungy for you, there's all kinds of wonderful, lovely makers on Craft Round the Clock, and it's pretty much all day long from morning till night. So again, thanks so much. Have a blessed day. Take care.